Welcome back to American Agenda. It's time now for The Other View. Ivy League campuses are being taken over by anti-Israel protesters, and these protests are growing in size and growing more and more violent. Watch. All right, well, Columbia is now making classes virtual due to fears of violence on campus. Harvard is already shutting down Harvard Yard, where so many people walk through, students and otherwise. That will be through the end of the week at least. And at Yale, a Jewish girl was stabbed in the eye by a pro-Palestinian protester with the end of a flag, and more than 40 students have been arrested there. Here to discuss, U.S. Air Force vet Jesse Tate, host of Newsline right here at Newsmax, our friend Bianca de la Garza, and RNC Youth Advisory Council co-chair Brilyn Hollyhand. Great to have all of you with us here. Wanted to get to this, Brilyn. This is your department. I'm talking Gen Z. Gen Z, we're learning. We've got a poll. They're increasingly siding with Hamas. Now, these numbers are startling and alarming. 33% of Gen Z says Israel doesn't have a right to exist. Now, I know you're a member of Gen Z. Explain it to us. What's going on?
Absolutely. Well, welcome to Biden's America. You see, in the past 24 hours, Joe Biden has tweeted about legalizing marijuana and attacking Trump, but not a single word about the anti-Semitism we're seeing running or overrunning Columbia and Yale and shutting those campuses down. Look, let's call these protests out for what they truly are. I'm not afraid to do that. These terrorists support the mass murder of Jewish people and don't think that they're going to stop there. Take their death to America chant seriously. Every single Democrat should be calling these out, but instead, Biden on down have been radio silent on that. I mean, how hard is it to come out and say that you don't support death to your citizens and death to Jewish people? This is concerning that my generation is believing this, but this is not anything new. This is what we've been saying for the past 2 years, and that's why I wrote my debut book that you introduced one generation away, because parents out there are concerned about the indoctrination going on in the classrooms. Grandparents don't recognize the America our generation is growing up in, and children are concerned. My peers are concerned about a hope and a future for America. Signed copies are available at brownbook.com, Amazon, anywhere else. So we're trying to get the message out to everybody right now.
All right, Bianca, we know that Squad Congresswoman Ilhan Omar's daughter is complaining now that she is homeless after being suspended for violating school rules with her protest. I think about you, because you and I talk about this a lot, just the sense of entitlement of these protesters. And I know you're a mom, you're a great mom. So I just want to get your sense of what should happen to these young people. If they're on a scholarship, should that go away? Should they be suspended and not invited back? What should actual repercussions and consequences be?
So there's layers, right? I mean, the fact that a sitting congresswoman daughter is involved and claiming a sob story, kind of, it's like a Hunter Biden, woe is me. Come on, she's not homeless. They all need to read Brilyn's book, clearly. They're messed up in the head. And I have a daughter who's 18. She's entering university. It's very important. Obviously, she gets to, hear our content here at Newsmax. She's not in sort of this strange fishbowl here, but it goes so deep. And I wonder if, if they're going to see the president go the way of Claudine Gay. I'm looking right now at the Columbia Spectator, and there's an opinion piece up by untenured faculty. And here's how deep it goes. They're basically saying that the students who are being arrested, who are literally making other students feel unsafe, that they are being arbitrarily suspended, and that there's a culture of fear and intimidation with a starker effect on you. So it's right at the top there. No, they're not the victims. They are people praising terrorists. It's so upside down that they can even try to skew it that way. I think it's. I think all these kids in these camps, they need to pick them up, move them out. I spoke to a student today. I'll end with this. She'll only give her first name on Newsline. Her name's Katie. She's not going to be attending graduation because she doesn't feel safe.
I saw that interview.
People of their. It's robbing them, and it's wrong, and we cannot have violence acceptable in any shape or form on these campuses across the nation.
Right. I know Bianca, the student you mentioned, she said she will graduate, but she will never, ever go back to Columbia again. Jesse, what is wrong with our society? I like to take it macro here. These campuses, college in general, used to be for the best and the brightest, those who wanted to learn, to broaden their minds, to potentially become leaders in their own right. But now, to Bianca's point, they're filled with terrorist supporters. Do you think we can push it back to the other direction, or do you think it's just going to be a massive change in the way that people are educated and we find our future leaders?
Well, I think it's going to take a lot to push it back. And like Bianca said, these people are in a fishbowl right now. They're really, they're only hearing their own view just repeated back to them, and they're not going out and seeing what is actually happening in the world right now. And if they had a wider viewpoint, they would have a much better perspective on that.
Yeah. All right. We're going to have to leave it there. Bianca De La Garza, host of Newsline, right here on Newsmax at noon every day. Brilyn Hollyhand, I think he's got a new book. And thank you to both of you for joining us. And Jesse Tate, please stick around with us. I don't know, Bob, it's crazy because you and I always talk about how we were raised by our parents, our experience in school, in college, and I know the two of us could not even imagine being this disrespectful.
No.
And out of line.
No, never. I had a conversation with somebody over the weekend, and I asked him, what would be the number one thing you would change in America for the better right now? Right out of the gate, his response is, I would do away or overhaul the Department of Education.
Wow.
That's exactly what he said. I think what you're seeing here is years of the Department of Ed shoveling down certain agendas down our kids' throats here. And now this is what you're getting. Places that are supposed to be for the best and brightest, you're getting a generation of kids that have been brainwashed to think that this is what you do. This is some sort of white versus black kind of thing. This DEI has reared its ugly head here, and now that's what you got.
They got that, and then there are apparently no consequences for their actions. And if there are consequences, well, then they cry foul. And
That's right, they do.
I think your friend is onto something.
I think he is. I know when you grew up, if you did something wrong, you knew there was going to be a consequence.
Oh, yeah.
There is no consequence anymore.
Zero. Nope.
So that has to change just as well. All right, coming up, we continue our conversation.